So the new Galaxy Buds 2 are a great upgrade from the Galaxy Buds Plus. They now have active noise cancellation, their ambient mode sounds better, their microphone sounds better, and they sound better as well. However, there are some key changes to look out for on the Galaxy Buds 2 from the Galaxy Buds Plus. But nonetheless, the Galaxy Buds 2 are a very solid pair of everyday carry truly wireless earbuds that you really can't go wrong with. Regarding pricing, the Galaxy Buds 2 retail for $150, the same as the Galaxy Buds Plus when they first came out. Now at $150, the Galaxy Buds 2 are reasonable and their feature stack is very similar to that of a pair of premium ANC earbuds. They have active noise cancellation and ambient mode, and they have wireless charging. So like I said, if you're an Android user, you really can't go wrong with these earbuds. So if you want to pick these earbuds up, they'll be linked down below. But just knowing Samsung, I do expect these earbuds to go on sale on a regular basis. Now first, let's talk about this case. The Galaxy Buds 2 have the same case as the Lives and Pros. It's square, we've got a glossy outside, and the lid opens and closes very easily. Overall, I like this case, and it isn't super noticeable when you've got it in your pocket. The only critique that I do have to point out about this case is that I wish the magnets were a little stronger, and technically, yes, this case is a little thicker than the Galaxy Buds Plus case. Now, it's not a huge difference, but I thought it was worth noting. And even though this case is relatively small, it's still a little larger than your AirPods and AirPods Pro's case. But besides that, the Galaxy Buds 2 have a great case. Now, when it comes to battery life, the Galaxy Buds 2 are basically identical to both the Pros and the Lives, as in the earbuds themselves each have 61 milliamp hour button cell batteries, and the case has a 472 milliamp hour battery. So with their active noise cancellation turned off, these earbuds have an advertised combined battery life of 29 hours. The earbuds themselves can go for 7.5 straight hours, and the case can supply about 3 additional full charges. And with the active noise cancellation turned on, these earbuds have an advertised combined battery life of 20 hours. The earbuds themselves can go for 5 straight hours, and then the case can supply those 3 additional charges. Overall, battery life on the Galaxy Buds 2 is fine, but it is different from the Galaxy Buds Plus. The Galaxy Buds Plus have 85 milliamp hour button cell batteries in them, so they can go up to 11 hours straight with their ambient mode turned off. So the Galaxy Buds Plus do have more stamina than the Galaxy Buds 2. Now, I think 7.5 hours on the Galaxy Buds 2 is fine, but I did want to point out this reduced stamina on the Galaxy Buds 2 for those fringe cases. I know that retail and warehouse workers do like to see stamina from their earbuds. Now, when it comes to actually charging these earbuds, just as you'd expect, you've got USB-C charging, but you've also got wireless charging. Now, personally, I don't really care for wireless charging on my earbuds, but I do want to point it out either for the people who have a phone that supports power sharing, and I assume that a lot of people watching this are going to be Galaxy users, so this means you, or if you've already invested in a few wireless charging mats. But nonetheless, wireless charging for earbuds in this price range is still a little rare. But now let's talk about the earbuds themselves. Regarding fit, there are some major changes. Now first off, the Galaxy Buds 2 still fit like a standard pair of in-ear earbuds, just like the Galaxy Buds Plus. As in, they go into your canal a decent amount. They aren't shallow fitting like the Pros. Now, if you're used to in-ear earbuds, you can easily wear the Galaxy Buds 2 for hours on end because their silicone ear tips don't get itchy after a while, like the foam ear tips that you'll find on, let's say, the Sony WF-1000 XM4s. However, the Galaxy Buds 2 are better used as casual earbuds, as in I really wouldn't recommend these for working out, especially if you're a runner. Now, don't get me wrong, these earbuds have good lockdown, but they don't have as much lockdown as the Plus because they no longer have ear fins. And, you know, the ear fins on the Plus could have been a major selling point for some people. So overall, I think the Galaxy Buds 2 should fit most people just fine. But you can no longer customize your fit like you can with the Plus. Now, regarding connectivity, each earbud establishes a connection with your phone. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you can use either one. It doesn't matter. And this is the connection setup that we expect to see from our earbuds nowadays. Now, if you're a Samsung power user, you're going to be able to hot swap between all of your devices thanks to seamless earbud connection. But even if you're not a Samsung power user, let's say you've got a Pixel device and an iPhone like I do, switching between devices is still relatively easy. All you gotta do is just go into your device's Bluetooth menu and establish a new connection. So overall, connectivity-wise, the Galaxy Buds 2 are good for power users, even if you've got multiple devices from different ecosystems. But when it comes to performance, these earbuds have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. And when it comes to audio codecs, these earbuds have support for SBC and AAC. But now let's talk about sound. Definitely, the Galaxy Buds 2 sound better than the outgoing Galaxy Buds Plus. Specifically, they don't sound as bright and nasally, and they have a little more bass to them. However, these earbuds don't sound anywhere near as good as the Galaxy Buds Pro. The Galaxy Buds 2 don't sound as open, instrument separation isn't as good, and the bass doesn't resonate or hit as hard. And, this is to be expected. Now, for a pair of entry-level everyday carry earbuds, the Galaxy Buds 2 deliver. But I do gotta say that I think these earbuds sound best when they're set to their dynamic EQ. Right out of the box, these earbuds can sound a little bright, and that's to be expected. They are AKG at the end of the day. But just like with the Galaxy Buds Plus, I would mainly recommend these to someone who likes a more neutral or vocals-focused EQ. If you're looking for bass, then you might want to go with the Beats Studio Buds. And if you're looking for the best sound at a price that won't break the bank, then you might want to go with the Sennheiser CXs. But now I want to address the app on the Galaxy Buds 2. Just like the Galaxy Buds Pro, the Galaxy Buds 2 only connects to Samsung's Wear app if you're using an Android device. If you try to connect these earbuds to the Wear app using an iPhone, these earbuds just won't connect. So definitely because of the app support, that's one of the main reasons why I would only recommend the Galaxy Buds 2 and Pros to Android users. Without this app, you're not going to be able to choose between your different EQ settings, adjust your ambient mode, or adjust the layout of your media controls. Now, speaking of media controls, the Galaxy Buds 2 are using touchpads. Now, this time around, these touchpads are very accurate and they're easy enough to use. You can easily skip through your music and you can cycle between your active noise cancellation settings. And through the Labs tab on these earbuds app, you can turn on the Tap the Edge feature. So you can also adjust the volume of your earbuds without having to use your phone. Now, personally, I love having all of this control directly from the earbuds themselves. But the one critique that I do have to point out here is that these earbuds don't do the best job of rejecting inputs when I'm just adjusting these earbuds. So that's another reason why I wouldn't recommend these earbuds for working out. Now, when it comes to voice commands, these earbuds have support for everybody's favorite Bixby, which really only applies if you're a Galaxy user. Now, since I'm a Pixel user, I really don't have any experience with Bixby, but unfortunately, the Galaxy Buds 2 don't have Google support. So you might want to take that into consideration if always listening voice assistants is very important to you. But you can always activate your voice assistant by just pressing and holding on the touchpad. But now I want to address a pet peeve that I have about these earbuds. Now, these earbuds have proximity sensors, but they don't automatically pause your music if you take one earbud out. You gotta take both of them out. And there's no setting to fix this in their app. And for me, it's very natural that if I have my earbuds in and I'm going to talk to someone, I take one earbud out and my media pauses, and then I can hear whatever the other person has to say. I'll have my conversation, and then when I'm done, I'll just put my earbud back in, and then my media starts back up. So Samsung, can we please fix this? But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these earbuds. Now, in general, Samsung's active noise cancellation doesn't really block out all that much noise, even on the Galaxy Buds Pro. Because when it comes to ranking, the Sony WF-1000 XM4s block out the most amount of noise, but they do have a slight advantage because of their itchy foam ear tips. Under them are the Jabra 85Ts, which also block out a ton of noise while being more comfortable, so personally I do prefer them. Under them are the AirPods Pro and Sennheiser Momentum 2s, which I feel are neck and neck, and below them are the Galaxy Buds Pro. So, like I said, the ANC on Samsung's earbuds is just Now below the Galaxy Buds Pro are the Beats Studio Buds, below them are the Galaxy Buds 2, and below them are the Galaxy Buds Live, which is to be expected just given how the Galaxy Buds Live fit, but that's a different story for a different video. Overall, the Galaxy Buds 2 block out some noise, but don't expect them to block out as much noise as the big boys. And in general, the Galaxy Buds 2 only block out constant low frequency sounds. However, like I mentioned in the past, I only use the active noise cancellation on my earbuds when I have to, and what's really important to me is the quality of their ambient mode. Now, the Galaxy Buds 2 have a much better, more natural sounding ambient mode than the Galaxy Buds Plus, and through Samsung's app, you even have some customization options. My only critique is that I will admit is that this ambient mode can sound a little shallow, and this microphone array does like to pick up a decent amount of wind noise when walking outdoors. And unfortunately, the ambient mode on the Galaxy Buds 2 brings in everything. It's not the active kind like the ambient mode that you'll find on the Sony WF-1000XM4s, which will automatically turn off their ambient mode if there's a sudden loud noise, like let's say a siren rolling by, saving you from just getting your ears blasted. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, like I mentioned at the top of this video, the Galaxy Buds 2 do have a better sounding microphone than the Galaxy Buds Plus, because right now in a quiet room, my voice does sound a little shallow. Whereas with the Galaxy Buds 2, they have more amplification to them, bringing your voice out much more. Now, when it comes to blocking out road noise, the Galaxy Buds 2 do a great job of reducing noise pollution and focusing on just my voice. Because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the Galaxy Buds 2, it is severely reduced and my voice is the main focus here. Whereas with the Galaxy Buds Plus, not only can you hear a decent amount of noise pollution, my voice does sound very shallow. However, the Galaxy Buds Plus do a decent job when it comes to blocking out chatter, because there isn't as much noise pollution in the background, and my voice doesn't sound super shallow this time. And it's about the same thing with the Galaxy Buds 2. Now, you can still hear a little bit of noise pollution in the background, but my voice is more amplified this time around. Now, it might sound a little robotic, but you can definitely still understand me. So with all that being said, the Galaxy Buds 2 are still a great pair of entry-level everyday carry truly wireless earbuds that any Android user should consider. You've got active noise cancellation and ambient mode, they have a decent sounding microphone, and they sound pretty good. However, don't expect these earbuds to block out a ton of noise, and I wouldn't pick these earbuds up if you're planning on working out with them. They no longer have as much lockdown as the Plus. So I wouldn't be surprised if Samsung eventually releases something like the Galaxy Buds Active. And also, keep in mind that in order to get the most out of the Galaxy Buds 2, you want to use them with an Android device. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.